Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. In today's video, I share excerpts from my weekend market analysis video, and we're going to start off here with the S&P 500 ETF, the SPY. And the SPY was down 893 on Friday, down 1361. So it's mirroring the SPX that we just talked about. We're oversold on a couple of indicators. We're getting there. We're not there on the RSI. But you know what? The bottoms in here, short-term bottoms that we've broken, they didn't get oversold either. So we'll see. And even when you look at the RSI here on this big downdraft in December, we didn't get oversold. So this market is really throwing a lot of curves at us in here as we look at this. This is the wave count. I still think we're doing we're in a fourth intermediate wave, same kind of thing as what I talked about with the Dow Diamonds. Okay, so messy move down. This could be a number of things. I mean, we could be getting more to go to the downside to come down and test this, or we could be chopping sideways. Right now, my gut is leaning into a possible bounce up into here, which I've been talking about. Okay, and especially on the Qs, I want to talk about that, especially on the Qs, because of this whole pattern that's playing out and what I'm seeing here, which is really, really interesting. So down 916 on Friday on the Qs, and then this, mess that we've been in for the last 5 weeks. Down 754 on the week. Okay, now we've got a little moving average flip to the downside in here. That could mean more to come, or it could be a fake out. The market's got to prove itself out. One thing I've talked about, look at all these white candles as the bulls try to take control all the time. I mean, it's just pretty amazing. I mean, white candles, right? Mean that they closed it above where they opened it on the day. And if you go back just even from this February 5th low, how many days? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 days. All right. How many of those days have had white candles? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 out of 20 days. 70% of the candles since the February 5th low, they've closed it above where they opened it. And then when you look at this, okay, I'm still holding this wave count as a possible in here, but this could become, and I think I talked about this Thursday, this could become a triangle instead of a flat. Okay, instead of a bigger flat, which this still may happen. I'm just talking about possibilities here, which you've got. That's what you got to entertain when you're looking at the market, is possibilities. Here's the other possibility: is this. And then we go. That's the other possibility. And it could be that stretches out even longer than that. Okay? So we have to keep that in mind. But one of the things that I look at when I see this is like, what about this? What is this? It kind of looks a little bit like a Head and Shoulders bottom, although this is pretty deep. It went lower. Maybe it's this, and then we got two heads. Sometimes you get that if we get a right shoulder in here. So you look at these patterns, you think, wow, 70% of the candles are white, and then you've got that potential in terms of a pattern that's showing up in the price action. It could be very interesting. All right, we'll see. And then, so that's the Qs. Okay, here's the VIX, up 574, huge move. It's sitting at 29.49. and on a weekly basis up 963 on the week. And there have been only in the last, let's just take a look at the weekly. How many weeks have closed higher than where we just closed? Well, you got to go back to the COVID crash. Okay. We've had 3 weeks, it looks like, that have closed higher than where we closed. And those 3 weeks were April of last year. So this closed March, April, the week of March 30th. Then we had another very strong week. And then this week still closed slightly higher than where we closed this week. So either we're very close within days of the bottom, or within a couple of weeks maybe of the bottom. We'll see. But again, that doesn't mean we can't have some wild swings. But when you look at the daily, and I was focused on the daily too, and it's kind of interesting how this ties in with the oscillator. I mean, this is the highest daily close since all the way back over here. And then you had a cluster of some days that were higher. But the other interesting thing is when we talk about the oscillator, where are we sitting with the oscillator with this high of a close here on the VIX? We're at extreme, okay? So let's move to the McClellan Oscillator right now and talk about that. So the breadth of the market, very negative the last 2 days, right? The breadth, 21%. 27% on the volume. The oscillator is sitting at a minus 182. So what does that mean? Here's minus 182 right in here. And I don't know why all of a sudden when I used to click on this and get these little circles, it would give me the data. All of a sudden it's not giving me the data, and I can't figure out why. Hopefully I can get it figured out. But I'm just telling you, this is minus 182, and on November 20th, it was minus 185. And here on October 10th, it was minus 196. Okay. You got to go back. So those two are two slightly lower readings than where we are. Not much. You got to go all the way back here to April to start getting some lower readings. And so this one right here is like minus 253, and there was two of them. There was right here 253 and minus 223 right here. Okay, and then you go back to December. There was a short-term real capitulation that occurred in mid-December of 24. So there's not too many points in time, is my point, in the last 14 months that we have had a lower reading on the oscillator in terms of the market being oversold. Okay, so to me that's a caution. And when you look at summation index, it has rolled over. It is heading south. So we'll see where that continues to go. So that's where we sit with the oscillator. Let's take a look at the put to call ratios right here. Now, this is not showing anything extreme. I've noted this. I talked about this a week or so ago. Highest 10 days since mid-April. But we didn't get super extreme on it. I'll color code it green when it gets super extreme in terms of put buying, but we just haven't gotten there. So we're sitting at 0.64 right now. Okay, that's that. The percent of stocks above their 50-day moving average, wow. Well below 50-50. Huge candle. I mean, I hate to read too much into a candle like that, but that's almost a perfect hammer, right? Almost a perfect hammer, like this right here, potentially. Similar to a much smaller one here. From a candlestick standpoint, hammers at the bottom are reversal indications, and the duplicate of that at the top is a hanging man, which is very negative. Okay, so it doesn't, you have to wait for price confirmation in here, but that's something that really jumps out at you. We're sitting at 43.7%. Look at the Bloomberg Commodity Index. Wow, I mean, is this skyrocketing or what? I mean, it was up $9.81. So, weeks ago, we took out this resistance area here at 119.26. We've now, and then intra week, we took out 125.94, and they came back down. Like it really still kind of resistance held, really. We didn't close above it, right? Well, we sure did now. And we're sitting up here at 131.49 right here. It looked rapidly trying to get back up into this territory. If you look at the longer term picture, here's the longer term. Here's all the data I have on the Bloomberg Commodity Index. So yeah, it's hitting the afterburners right now. But of course, this seems to be heavily influenced by oil, because gold and silver aren't really doing that much, and of course silver, and then of course there's lots of other commodities that are in the mix in here, because this is a commodity index. Heavily overbought, no divergence showing up at this point. Let's take a look at WTI. Okay, so I'm going to go here, and we're going to look at the daily, up 9.89, week up 24.89. Now, what I heard, I don't have the data, but what I heard was this is the biggest 1 week increase in the price of oil ever. So that's pretty dramatic. Now, they could have been, what I heard could have been talking about Brent, but I assume if it's holding for Brent, it's probably holding for WTI. But it doesn't really matter. What we're really worried about is where are we in here. Now, I read an interesting article. You may want to check this out on the McClellan Oscillator website. Talked about backwardation in the price of oil, and what he was talking about is that, basically the oil futures have been in backwardation pretty much since the COVID crisis. But he was talking about the difference between the farthest month out in pricing of the price of oil and the nearest month. How big was the gap, the delta? And he said, we're at a point where oil has typically topped. Where that's it, where you're not going to get that much more of a change in terms of that kind of delta. So it's going to be interesting. And because the other thing, well, let me talk about this. I've changed my wave count. I've said, okay, I think there's a decent chance that this wave 5 is done in here, that the C wave ended here. I was really looking for it to get lower, but with this kind of move, and look what it's done. I mean, you can't. I mean, there's just no way you could sit back and say something else lower is going on right now. So it's in an updraft, pretty strong updraft, but you get a move like this, it's like, wow. I mean, let's just take a look at something. Whereas a 50% retracement takes you back to 71 from this high, and that's assuming that the high's in, which may or may not be the case. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to just point out in here is take a look at the energy stocks, the oil stocks, XLE. They did nothing. This is not a good sign, I don't think either. I mean, major divergence showing up in here. You would think that these oil stocks would really just be continuing to rip with that price of oil, and that's just not happening right now. So something else may be going on in here. I'm really suspect that we've got a little, at least short-term top going on. Okay, so I wanted to talk about that. Let's go back and take a look at gold. GLD was up 738 on Friday, but doesn't look major. I mean, we've broken this trend line, and now we're just kind of trading below it slightly in here. It was down 1024 on the week. Bearish engulfing type candle when you look at that on a weekly basis, right? Definitely a bearish engulfing type candle, and of course you need confirmation. You need to break the low of the week that is truly something that's playing out. We've got plenty of divergence on this. I'm continue to look for a wave 4 to play out in here. I just felt like all along that this was counter trendish. So we'll see if that continues to happen. I'm just waiting for this to get a little more mature in terms of the development in here on the corrective wave. Now, when we take a look at SLV, up $1.67 on Friday, but again, just it looks very minor. $9.05 down. We already showed you on the ETF dashboard it was over 10%. So pretty negative move, closed below the prior week low. And I am doing the same thing. I'm just not convinced that the wave 4 is done yet. Now, we didn't get nearly the rally, counter trend rally that we got in gold in SLV. So we'll see what develops with this wave count. But that's where I sit, still thinking that we've got a fourth that will give us a fifth, and then a little move up here, and then a bigger corrective move. So we'll see. Okay, that's where we sit with commodities. Let's take a look at the macro count. Okay, that wraps it up for this weekend. I hope you found the video helpful. Everyone have a wonderful week.